Hello fellow plant enthusiasts. So I'm going to show you how to rig up all these different grow lights onto a rack so you can start your own microgreen or plant propagation area at your place. So stay tuned and enjoy. To start, you want to order some grow lights, and the ones I purchased, they came in a 2-pack, and each one has its individual power cable. And these are designed, if you notice on the instructions, let me pull this open. They are designed basically to be hanging. So you have these hangers and hooks that mount through here, and you hang them from the ceiling. But who wants to do that? You know, if you reorganize or rearrange, you're going to want to move them, and then you have holes in the ceiling, and it is a pain to paint a ceiling. You know, painters may be used to it, but if you're not a painter, it is a pain. So, you know, that's all I want from it. I'll take these out. And then I can work from these. These, just add them to a collection in case I use them for something else. Before you do anything, you want to take these and plug them in and just make sure that they work and that you didn't receive a defective one. So this is one of them. Let me look at the other one. So you want to try them with all of the lights, because you do sometimes get defective ones. I purchased a different brand where you had a couple panels that you clipped together. So it basically had a wire that you joined two panels together like this, where you have a wire and two panels, and it did not work. You see, one of them would not come on. So this one will be going back because it is defective. So keep in mind that when you buy these, before you assemble them, make sure they work. To mount them, I'm going to be using zip ties. They come in both black and white. Typically, I'm sure there are some with other colors as well. The black ones hold up better to the elements. So if you're going to mount something outside, you want to use the black one. Of course, I bought a pack with both, so I want to use up the white ones first. So I'm just going to use these for now, especially since these will be used indoors. So I have two holes, and this is the side with the grooves. That's the smooth side. I'm going to stick this in here and then back out. So I'm going to stick these in there and zip it like so. And I'm going to do that on all four corners. So you see how I zip them to where they're angled down and not sticking up? This way I don't have to waste time pruning them. Or for those of you who want to use the conventional vernacular, trimming them. But since this is a plant channel, we'll use the term pruning. So you don't have to get it excruciatingly tight to begin with. Because I left these, I can always pull it tighter if I want to, which is nice. So I can zip it tighter, and that one didn't want to go in. So each one of these, you're going to use a minimum of 8 zip ties. So here we have 4. And what I'm going to do is take these to where the grooves are on the top and the smooth sides on the bottom, and run them up and around like that. So I'm going to do that with all of these. And once I have these in, I could tighten these more if I want to, if they'll get tighter. Sometimes they won't, but You know, if you get it too tight, it's still not going to be too tight to where you can't slip another one under if you mess up and have to use a fresh zip tie. So that's what I have, and now I can get the rest of them. So I'll be zip tying the rest, and then we'll be mounting them to the rack. So there are a couple things to note when mounting these. Basically, it has the ballast sitting on top, and this hangs underneath. So you're going to want the ballast here, and you're not going to want to tie the zip ties too much to where this will flex and curl up and be higher. You want it about level there. And this rack is wide enough for two pieces to where the curve can go right against the beam like that. So I can put it in the edge, and that's how it will be lined up. Now, I've been making them with the wire or the power cord going to the inside like that, and then I've been running them through the center. You can actually make them come out the edge and run up the rails. It's all in how you want to do, and I'll show you the back side when I'm done. So this I can basically, I don't need the twist tie on there. I can always reuse it if I want to tie part of it, you know, if it's too long. So that I won't worry about at the moment. And the tricky part is getting the zip ties started, because if you're doing it single-handedly, this is the tricky part. But once you have one or two done, the rest of it comes easy. But if you notice, you have to apply a little skill. Basically, with practice, you get better at it doing it by yourself. So I just have it click enough to where it's hanging and flush. So you're going to do that with all four of these. And then there's a little other detail to worry about too. So when it's level, you can see if one of these is hanging lower or not, and get them accordingly. But you want to get them all in before you start to tweak that, just so that you won't have to worry about having one that's too zip tied too tightly compared to the rest. And then, but you can always undo it if you have to, but then you're wasting zip ties and then you run out. And okay, so we have that, and just one more. So you see, it's a lot easier once you have one zip tied. The rest are easy. Okay, so now I'm checking it, and even the back side, this one can be zipped a little more. So I'm making sure it's level. And then one more thing I'm going to do is take this and turn it down. So as you can see how it's pressed in there, and I don't have that sticking up. And it adds a little extra tightness to it. So let's show you a close-up of how that looks. So as you can see, I have the piece running along that way, and then the piece running along the beam or the part of the rack and angled down. So then both ends of the ties are out of the way, and I don't have to trim them. So I can always slide this over if I need to, or move it, which is kind of nice if I need to adjust it. But now let's get them all wired up, and we'll see the final product. This is how the reverse looks. I made the mistake of running this over, so now it's not flat up here, so I'll have to remove that zip tie and run it under like I did with the others. But in hindsight, I would have had them run, had these cables come out the side, run and down, and then have two power strips on each side, so if I have an outlet, on each side. I can plug them in because these were not designed to daisy chain together, and it would have been nice if they were. But anyway, now we can, well, I'll turn it on from here, and then we'll see the final product from the front. So now we have this ultra light, low power consuming LED grow light rack, and I'll have to get a power strip and rig it on a timer. I have an old power strip from when I had aquariums set up where it has a built-in timer. It was a Core Life brand, so maybe I'll use that, but I think the timer mechanism may not be functional, so I'll rig up something. But now it's good to go. One thing you can do is you can purchase mats that go on top and they're cut to the right size of the racks, and that would be a good idea. So as you put plants, if you have spillage, it's not going to come down and electrocute you. So that's one thing to consider. I don't have those yet, but it's something that just occurred to me right now as I'm making the video that it will be a good idea to have them. But a nice thing about these grow racks, you can get some nice shower hooks, and you can even hang things from them or from the side. And some of the things you can hang, for example, is like I make some nice macrame that are basically you mount on the wall. And if I want to plant several and have them ready so I can have a bunch that are planted to give away as gifts or sell, I can also have them on the, hanging out the side. I can also have them turned so that they can grow well. So that's the nice thing about these hooks that you can use to help supplement any hanging plants you have with your lighting setup. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it informative. Thanks for watching. Happy planting.